Mr. Transformers 96 here with another video, and I'm going to be talking about some newly shown Marvel Legends figures. And this time we have two new additions to the Kingpin Build-A-Figure series, being the 6-armed Spider-Man and Puma. So yeah, these are mildly exciting. I will say that I'm not a massive fan of Puma. I believe this is the first time that he's been shown. I don't think that he's been shown before, but part of me kind of thinks that he does. I just can't remember. The 6-armed Spider-Man is definitely 100% new though, as far as being shown for the first time. But overall, Puma, he looks fine. I do believe that there might be some reused pieces from Sabretooth. He looks like a decent figure. I've never been a big fan of the character, and the figure looks fine, but just not a big fan of the character, so I don't really care too much about him, I will say. The 6-armed Spider-Man, though, I think that this is something that's very unique, especially since we just haven't seen a figure with arms on their torso before like this, so it helps it because it's so unique. The Spider-Man himself is a very classic-looking Spider-Man, not too much going on there. It's the extra arms that are really cool though, and obviously they add a ton of articulation. This will be a figure that's really fun to pose because it'll be really unique to pose. I mean, you can throw him in all sorts of poses that you really can't do with any other figure, so that's going to be fun. I'm quite excited about that. And seeing that they're doing him, you know, maybe they'll do Spiral. Spiral's a character that it also has 6 arms that I think is much cooler, so I am hoping that eventually we'll get Spiral. But at the moment, I think this looks like a nice figure. I would be shocked if the arms and legs aren't reused. I mean, they look pretty standard, so I would imagine they're going to be reused. The head sculpt looks pretty standard as well. The torso is obviously new because they have the socket joints for all the for all the shoulders. The biggest issue with him is that he doesn't have an ab crunch, and that's obviously due to all the extra arms. But I will say it wouldn't be impossible to give him an ab crunch. I mean, you just make the cut in between these two arms, and it goes up, you know, comes down, and then it goes over. I mean, they could totally do that. So, you know, like it's totally doable. It's not like they couldn't do it with these extra arms, but I'm sure the extra expense for the arms, you know, they needed to cut, you know, something, or at least try to bring the price of the figure down. So that's why they cut the ab joint, which I'm okay with. That's fair to me. But overall, I think that he does look quite cool. These two figures are adding on to some of the other figures, like here, where you got the Carnage, Goblin, Black Cat, Silver Saber, Silver Sable, and some of the other characters. As a whole, I think this wave looks okay. To be honest, it's not one is like super exciting for me. I will say that the figure just in the actual wave itself that most intrigues me is Goblin Carnage, just because I'm a big fan of Carnage, and this is a very odd version of him, but it's a unique one, so I'm excited for that. And then Silver Sable, I'm very excited for her as well. I liked her from the Spectacular Spider-Man TV show. That's the biggest place that I know her from, and I like her from that a lot. Black Cat, I like Black Cat a lot, but I'm not a huge fan of that costume, but it is a unique one, so I'd be fine getting it. And then the black kind of Venomized Spider-Man type of look of character. I don't know a ton about him. I think the figure does look, or at least the costume looks quite cool. The figure looks a little plain though. And then the other character, which I don't even remember who that is. It's the guy in black with the red highlights and a skateboard. I'm not a big, you know, I'm not really into him either. So overall, this wave features a lot of characters that I just really either don't know much about at all, or really don't care for. And then the figures that I do care about, I'm not like super like just dying for. So it's a mixed bag for me. The Build-A-Figure helps save the wave though. I am very excited for a Kingpin Build-A-Figure. You know, I've never been a big fan of Kingpin from the comics or from the games or even from like the movie. But the Netflix Kingpin I absolutely love, and because of you know, that Kingpin, Vincent D'Onofrio's performance as that Kingpin, it's really gotten me excited for this Kingpin Build-A-Figure, and I think it looks really cool. As you can see, he's very big. I like that he comes with 2 faces, and then I also like the piece that comes with Professor X, which is the Shadow Master, or no Shadow King. Yeah, the Shadow King head sculpt. I think that looks super cool as well. So overall, the Build-A-Figure is awesome. There's you know, 2 or 3 figures in the wave that I think look nice, and then there's about 4 figures that I really don't don't care for. So I might end up buying a lot of the Build-A-Figure pieces separate in this wave. But overall, I think it looks like an okay wave. It's not terrible by any means, but it's certainly not great. Had the Build-A-Figure not been very good, I probably would have just skipped them all together and just bought like maybe 2, maybe 3 figures of the actual wave itself. But with the Build-A-Figure being very good, I'll probably end up getting around 4 or 5 of the figures and just buying the rest of the Build-A-Figure pieces. So yeah, so there you go. That's my thoughts on this wave. Overall, looking like a decent assortment. And then the 6-arm Spider-Man with the newly revealed 6-arm Spider-Man does look quite cool, and I know that's a figure that I think a lot of people are going to flock to simply because it's super unique, which is very cool. So yeah, so let me know what you guys think of the new reveals from the Marvel Legends figures from the Kingpin Build-A-Figure wave, and thanks so much for watching.